DC Comics and DC Comics as a whole. 85 has been outselling, thought was good storylines. Scott Snyder done something phenomenal with Batman that hadn't been done since the days of there with the Daniels drawing it, you know, right there. I can't remember where. They were darker before that, real darker, and a lot of Dead Man, Spectre type stuff coming on into the issue before that. I can't remember the artist, but you know, you get up to like 575. Scott McDaniel came on, and I can't. And Neil Adams, they didn't do none. They just took what was already great with the character and emphasized it instead of making Batman too campy like the old TV show. Now, this is not a Batman Arkham City video. I do make them, but this is all about Batman. Tom King, they don't like his story writing, but they made, I'll be honest with you, I've been reading a lot of things now. The stories are, okay, whatever. They're not really, I'm hoping that Jim Lee and Grant Morrison can come back, or someone that made the Hush series, or Jeff Loeb could come back to Batman and redefine it like it was. You need good, solid art. There's nothing wrong with the artist right now. Gannon does a wonderful job, and the other guy does a good job with Batman too. I can't remember his name there. The one at Fabok, he does a good job, whatever his name. I hope I'm pronouncing that good. And you know, all them guys are doing heck, hire John Byrne to do Batman. He could do a good Batman. George Perez, hire someone that's really good. Don't just get any of these guys like Marvel does. That's what's ruined, as far as I'm concerned. Marvel just hires any old stupid political writer and they hack on it, and they've really ruined Marvel as far as I'm concerned. They've took Marvel. The movies are good. The Marvel films are good. I just saw Captain Marvel. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. Wonder Woman was 20 times better. Aquaman was 30 times better. But that's just my opinion. I'll be honest with you, I thought Batman vs. Superman was better than Captain Marvel. Now, I didn't think nothing was wrong with Captain Marvel. I just think the fanboys hit on it. In-game wasn't that great as far as I'm concerned. Everybody blows their mind about it, but none of these comics follow anything to a T like they should. I mean, they just change stuff too much. People, they get comics confused and then they don't want to keep them. But, you know, Batman, I heard a guy talking about, I can't remember his name, can't quote him on YouTube. The AT&T and Marvel was merged. Well, here's the sad thing. When they said how many comics Batman selling? Well, they said 80 to 100,000 comics a month. They go, wow, and that's just what state region? He said, no, that's just nationwide here in America. Wow. Out of all the millions of people living in this country, I bet you a quarter, 85 million of them people that live in America, 100 million people, 200 million people know who Batman is. And probably 100 million know who he is, what his name is, know his secret origin. A lot of people know a lot about Batman. And you can't tell me that they can't sell that 200 comics a month. Something's wrong with the comics industry. Number one, I'll tell you exactly what it is. Comic books are too high. The pricing, even the digital, is way too high. Comics, back when I started collecting back in the 70s, comics were something. They were really written well. Even the poor ones were written well and the art was well. You always had something to swing on. You know, there for a while the Justice League really got sour, but you know what, the storytelling was good. The art suffered, but it meshed well. Until they got good legends in there like George Perez, John Byrne. Avengers has always been a good tale, but it got wonky back there. It got kind of wonky when Scarlet Witch and Captain America was the leader, and you had Quicksilver and them running around. That's before my time, but you know, even some of the Avengers have dry runs, and even the X-Men had kind of dull moments, but the art and the writing was always wonderful. Now you can compare the comics of old, today's standards, all of them. Today the writing has suffered severely, and the art. Now DC, I will take my hat off DC. They have kept up with the art industry part of it. They have really shined in the artistic reigns. They're hiring super artists to do their job on the most part. Marvel, on the other hand, writing, Now, Tom King does a good job, don't get me wrong. He done good up until the wedding that never happened with Catwoman Batman. And after that, it suffered drastically. The storytelling actually went down the damn toilet. Now, I like Tom King. I like what he does. I like what he's writing. I know he's a good artist, but you know, some of the old artists like Denny O'Neil that wrote with Neil Adams back in the day. Denny was a down-to-earth beat, old-fashioned reporter. He knew how to tell stories and make stories dramatized. So these kind of guys are the guys that should be working, not these PC people. I don't say Tom King is PC or SJM and all that, but they need to find a better way to write Batman. They got to go back to what makes Batman work. I mean, yeah, you can reinvent and redo things, but you never want to lose the first impression of Batman. Versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, what I watched there a while back, was super. Batman fights to study your moves. Give him enough time, he'll beat you. That's Batman. Captain America said the same thing in Avengers versus, and that's how George Perez envisioned it. And them guys, and Busiek, I think that's his name. That's how they envision Batman, as a guy that cheats. He don't follow rules. He'll study your moves, and then he'll give you the nail of the coffin shut on you, because he'll use some trickery or gadgetry or combat move to beat your ass. That's Batman in a whole totality. If everybody wants to know the truth, Batman defines the moment. He's been trained in every form of martial art, like Captain America. Captain America's been trained in every form of martial arts and combat technique and military training, and his mind can handle. And Batman's on the other end of the spectrum. He went further. He even went into the martial art detective mode and learned from all kinds of sages and all kinds of stuff to combat things. So Batman does have an edge on certain people. He has a vast knowledge of things, because he don't want things to happen to people, his people, like happened to him when his parents were killed when he was a little boy. But anyhow, Tom King ends his writing at 85. Now, they wanted him, he had 100 issue, but they ended it. I guess they didn't like the story where it was going. And they want to outsell. Incredible Hulk outsold, last month I believe, outsold Batman for the first time. Now they've been creeping up and chop, and it's a good writing. The Immortal Hulk, it's something like issue 19. I've been looking at it and reading along. It's pretty darn decent. I really like where they're going with it. It's kind of, it's got Bruce Banner, and they're really picking apart at it and really getting into some wild stuff that would do the Stan Lee proud. But all this other stuff, Iron Man ain't too bad in the Marvel. Iron Man in the comics ain't doing too bad. It's not bad. They kind of revisited some of that Arsenal stuff, which I thought was dealt away with too quickly in his comic. But then was a good day when David Michelia and Bob Layton and them wrote Iron Man. Wow, what beautiful days of Iron Man back in the issue 108 on up to about 150 something. Truly great that time. And Batman's been good. He's had ups and downs, but Scott Snyder had a beautiful run. I like his metal. I love his writings with the what he's writing now, Batman Who Laughs with Jock. Great art. It ain't the greatest art, but I like it. It flows beautifully. He tells a good story. It's not the best art in the world, but it's beautiful. Unlike this Arkham City, look at the art rendered in that. Look at the beautiful art in that. I mean, let's face it, that's beautiful art. If the art from this Arkham City guy would draw comics, and this is good writing too, the guys that wrote this stuff, they need to hire these kind of people if they want to sell comics. If you're hearing me, DC, listen to me. Get things and people that work well. You want it to sell. If you want to make money and make the fans happy, you got to tell the impossible story, and tell the story that hasn't been told, but redefine the character to make the character stand out, so that he can be recognized a hero. Bruce Wayne is the Donald Trump DC Comics. Maybe that's why they don't like him. I don't know. Who knows? But let's face it, Batman's a rich guy. Trump's a rich guy. Donald Trump does a lot of stuff with wild women. Bruce Wayne does a lot of wild, flirts with a lot of wild women, womanizer. Donald Trump is a womanizer. I mean, I don't like what he did, but I like what he does. He's okay. He just tells it how it is. I don't mind. Now I'm going to get 50 million hits that I'm a racist and a narcissist. Nah, he's got people of color working for him, and he's got people of different nationalities working. So to say that would be stupid, to say that you're a racist because you like someone. Mike Tyson likes Donald Trump. A lot of people say, well, he's a rapist. It was never really fully proven that woman, it was all planted. That woman went up there because she knew she could get a fast buck. Let's face it. I mean, it may look bad on him. Yeah, he done what he shouldn't have done, and he was set up. But yeah, there wasn't no proof that he drug that woman up there and done things with her. I bet she said yes, yes, yes to all that money and to the sex. So let's face fact, it never was proven that he did hurt her. And Mike Tyson, he was just used. He don't really have the mind. You know, when he lost that one guy that trained him, that really kept him safe, Jamad or whatever his name was, Mike Tyson really went down the tube quick, because he had people like Don King and all these power people messing with him, just using, bleed him dry. And they did. But you know, on Batman, if they want to get good, I really like that storyline there, pre-1000 there, what they done with Batman there, Batman delving into his psyche, and man, Batman even pushing the envelope further against himself. Now, what is your best adversary? Yourself, because you know yourself. So Batman, in the end, you know, now he's taking on, guess who? He's taking on Arkham Knight again, who's no other than the guy that knows a lot about Batman, that took over the reins of Batman issue 500 onward, and he was kind of nuts. Can't remember the guy's name, but anyhow, them are the golden years of Batman, and you know, I'd like to see him come back. Tom King does a good job. I mean, he does that one storyline here. What storyline has he been doing here? It's a mini-series about a refugee, like a place for people. It's in STPDS or whatever it is. He does a great job with that 9-issue series. It's up to number 8, I believe. Crisis. You know, this crisis is people, these superheroes, young superheroes that's in crisis. Now, there was a lot of controversy over issue 4 when Batgirl showed the bullet wound around her tummy and showed a little bit of flesh and showed her rear end part back. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. That's where Joker shot her and crippled her. And she was taking a point that was trauma, PTSD. So, Tom King's doing a fantastic job on that storyline. And he did a fantastic job, as far as I'm concerned, in the early parts of Batman. Now they're getting away from it. Here since like 51, where Mr. Freeze, Batman has dwindled, he even hit Robin. Now, I don't like it, because Batman's always in control. Even when you think he's not in control, he's in control. Batman never would lose it like that and hit a small child. You know, Batman, he would do a lot of crazy shit, but he would never hit his own son or hit anybody out of anger. Batman knows how to control his anger and rage, and for Alfred to say you've been broken by your own, that just don't make sense. They could have done a whole lot different with that than what they're doing. No wonder DC and AT&T don't like the direction of Batman. Fans are pissed off about the fact that Batman is broken. And Tom King, you didn't do a very good job. You have failed The Dark Knight as a writer. So hopefully they just take issue 50 and this and just throw it in like a dream sequence. So that's my thought on Batman writings of 85. So maybe they'll just make it like the Dallas Dream season where Bobby Ewing was dead. So maybe that's what they'll do. Like, it was a disaster from when, you know, the whole Catwoman. I thought it was good in the story, but they should just end it there with 50 to 85 and call that the dream year, like Batman was in a dream coma or something, and make him wake up. But anyhow, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Peace out. Shut the fuck up.